It's good to know. This leads me to my next topic, which is food addiction. I help women to break their food addiction to the animal products and the processed foods. What is some advice that you give to somebody watching who has a food addiction? They are eating things they know is not healthy. They don't want to eat it anymore, but they can't stop. They physically can't seem to stop themselves. What is like the first few steps that you recommend to your clients?
Enforced abstinence. If you want to quit smoking, you have to get it completely out. If you're an alcoholic, it doesn't help to go out on the weekends and drink. Because when you imbibe in the addictive substance, it lights the fire under your desire. It keeps lighting up that fire of wanting it more. It's staying away from those addictive substances long-term for a long enough period of time to make you no longer desire them. I have a retreat here in San Diego where food addicts come and stay here for 2 to 3 months because it takes that long for them to be away from their addictive triggers. But people don't have to come here to lose weight and get healthy. They can do it at home. But they have to set up their life so they're not, how could I say, they're not baby stepping their way to healthy eating with a foot in both worlds. They're going to eat healthy, but they're still going to have some of these things they love. Well, every time you have those, you use a little bit of the self-destructive food, it's going to set you back to wanting it more. And it set you back into being a full-fledged food addict again. You're not moving in the direction of getting rid of your addictions until you're off the thing for a long enough period of time. You're rid of your addictions better and better and better for every day and week and month you stay away from it. And the major, substance of addiction is SOS, sugar, salt, and oil. It fuels overeating behavior and addictions. And people have to stay away from sugar, salt, and oil long term and learn how to cook this way, learn how to prepare food this way.
Yes.
So, I used to think, I used to give people a way they can move into this more gradually. And for some people, that maybe they'll still be the right way. But there's so many people that it screws them up because they're trying to cut back on the foods they shouldn't be eating. And the cutting back just makes them want the food more. And they keep desiring that food and they keep cutting back until they cut it out completely and not cut it back. They don't they don't lose their desire for eating those things.
So true. Yeah, that is such good advice. Because I remember when I tried to have a little square of chocolate, because I was on a diet and all I could think about was having more chocolate. That's all I wanted.
Yeah. And
you're right. Yeah. Getting it out of my life gets out of my bloodstream. I don't want it. And so, people don't think that food. This is crazy, but some people don't think food addiction is like as strong as other addictions. Can you, as a doctor, can you please speak upon the true essence of a food addiction? Is it as addicting? Is food as addicting as drugs, as alcohol, as other substances?
Well, certainly there's a continuum of addictive properties that you get with addictive substances. But the hallmark of food addiction, or the hallmark of addiction in general, is that when you stop the offensive substance, you start to feel worse and go through withdrawal symptoms. So a person moving from their unhealthy way of eating to a healthy way of eating is going to start to feel fatigued and shaky, maybe headaches. They're not going to feel maybe more agitated. That's one. They're not going to feel great. The other type of behavior we're talking here is lighting up the centers in the brain, the same areas of the brain that are lit by opiates. And you become dopamine insensitive from the opiate exposure, and you become dopamine insensitive, and other neuropeptides are distorted unnaturally from the caloric rush, because you can't get that many calories into the bloodstream at one time when you're eating natural foods. You have to eat, animal fats and oils and sweets and processed foods to flood all those calories into the blood high enough so the brain gets a hit. And the question is, why would people consume things that are not in their own best interest, that are self-destructive, right? Why do they consume? Why do they smoke? They know smoking's not good for them. Why are they smoking? They know drinking alcohol causes cancer. Why are they drinking alcohol? They know that eating croissants and burgers and pizza and bacon is bad for them. Why are they doing that? Whoever said bacon's making you live longer? I mean, we know these things are unhealthy, but people are blocked out. It's called cognitive dissonance. They're blocked out this idea. The primitive brain doesn't want to think about the self-destructive behavior because the addictive desires of the primitive brain supersedes the cerebral or intelligent brain. So you're no longer in control of your behavior. You're not using your best brain, your most intelligent self, to say, oh, why am I eating this? Is this going to do me some long-term good? Is this good for my future health, or is this going to hurt my future health? But instead of making those decisions on everything you eat, oh, I should eat this because it tastes good and it's good for me. But no, I should eat this instead because it's going to take some years off my life, damage my brain cells, create diabetes, and I love it. But you wouldn't make that decision not in your own best interest unless you were addicted to it. Yeah, it's food addiction. And even though the addictive drive to consume bad food is not as powerful as the addictive drive to consume heroin and cocaine, it still causes more death because there's many more people that have this milder form of addiction than the fewer people that have the stronger form of addiction. So even though those things can cause death, most of us are dying from the food addiction, which is more ubiquitous, even though it may be a little milder in intensity.
Yeah. So then we can call a food addiction the most serious addiction on earth because more people are dying of a food addiction than any other addiction. Correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Yes. So, okay.
And let's make this clear. There's no such thing as a healthy overweight person, right? All overweight people are aging faster and increasing their risk of cancer. So why are people consuming more calories than they need? Why can't they eat the right amount of calories like every other animal in nature? Where do you see, obese, hyenas and and squirrels and deer and running around the jungles and woods? You don't. They all weigh the same weight. All the deer live about the same age and are about the same weight when they're full grown, and they, because they're eating natural foods. And primitive humans didn't have huge weights and difference in weights either. This is a dangerous and completely unnatural food environment we're in. And now we have unnatural diseases and unnatural bodies due to unnatural foods. We have to get back to eating natural foods that are not created by humans.
So as a species,